Hey there and good morning. It is Thursday, June 13th. We are running down some of the stories that you're clicking on, that you're sharing on our Facebook page as well. Some of them are from overnight. Some of them are local, some of them are not, but they're the ones that you seem to be showing the most interest in, so I appreciate you tuning into our little update. Feel free to comment, ask questions as I run down each story. We're going to circle back to them at the end of this and kind of go through your thoughts. So we're going to start with something that's really grabbed the attention of Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo. So let me introduce you to Cottrell Beasley. He is in jail right now. That's his court appearance that happened overnight. He's 18. So he's in jail for firing into an apartment complex where he hit an 11-year-old boy at random, and the little boy almost died. The issue that Chief has is Beasley was out on bond after being arrested for murdering a 20-year-old back in February. He was given low bond and was able to get back out on the streets. And now the chief is saying these guys need to be held longer. The bond needs to be higher. I don't know why we're sending them back out. And this isn't the only case that this has come up in. So we're going to show you the mugshot of Anthony Conway. So he is still wanted. They haven't caught him yet, but he is suspected of killing Enrique Ramirez Ayala, who is a popular food truck owner. And you're looking at mugshots from all of his previous arrests. He has a pretty violent rap sheet. And the chief wanted to know why he was put back out. And you just saw a statement there from Harris County DA. Basically, they say when he's caught, he will go back behind bars for good. He's not getting out. But a lot of people, the chief included, Houston Police Officers Union, also expressing frustration about why these people with clearly violent, sometimes murder charges in their background are allowed back out on the streets so easily. And in these two cases, they went back out and allegedly hurt someone. We're talking about an 11-year-old boy being injured in the previous case. So a lot of questions there. We'll have to see if the chief's venting his frustrations on Twitter will end up making any changes in the process. All right, we're going to move to another situation that happened overnight at the Extended Stay America along the Sam Houston Tollway up in North Harris County. So what happened was a couple deputies responded to a 911 call. Hotel workers found a room that had drugs and money inside. And when those officers went in, they started to get sick. And it turns out, according to hazmat crews from Harris County and Montgomery County, the deputies were exposed to fentanyl. And those are the three people arrested connected to that hotel room. But pretty scary. They weren't sure what was going on, so they ended up taking, I think it's called Norcan. Jaime, do you remember what it's called?
That's correct.
I have it in here, Norcan. Kind of the antidote to that. So, but really, really scary. And this isn't the first time. There have been multiple instances locally that we've covered. Some that turned out to be fentanyl, some that didn't. But something to watch out for sure. You guys are clicking on this one. You can learn more on khou.com. And speaking of exposure, we're heading over to the Harris County Jail now because 6 inmates and 1 worker have now tested positive for mumps. The first symptoms, I guess, started showing up in May. The health department has been working with the jail trying to keep anyone with symptoms quarantined, but it's super contagious. Spread by saliva, it can go airborne. So in a really confined space like a jail, you can see how that would spread very, very quickly. There were, I think at last count, 10 inmates who are showing symptoms that were in quarantine as of last week. So we'll have to see how the jail handles that. I want to move to a story now that has a lot of you fired up, and it's igniting this whole debate about a valedictorian in the San Diego area She got her time to speak. She said what she wanted to say. Some people are questioning whether it was the right time or place. So take a listen.
To my counselor, thanks for teaching me to fend for myself. You expressed to me your joy in knowing that one of your students was valedictorian when you had absolutely no role in my achievements. To the teacher who was regularly intoxicated during class this year. 4 years.
Yeah, so she called out her counselor for not helping her at all. And then she called out a teacher, not by name, but just said to the one who was always intoxicated, thanks for teaching us about the dangers of alcoholism. Her mom says she's proud. We're calling her Natalie. We're not using her full name. Her mom says she's proud of her daughter for speaking her mind. She says she earned that achievement. She earned her spot up on that stage. So it was her opportunity to talk about whatever she wanted to. Natalie does say the first half of her speech was very positive. She thanked the teachers who did make a difference, the school staff who really tried and invested in the lives of the students there, but called them out as well. The spokesperson for the high school said it's unfortunate that the words of a student like this are taking away from the positive. There are a lot of teachers working very hard for our students. It's unfortunate that she decided to air grievances. So my question to you is, should she have? Was this the right time and place for her to make that statement? Some people say yes, that she no doubt brought this to the school's attention and nothing was done. Now it's on a very public platform. She's going viral on YouTube. Other people argue, no, this was immature. It could have been handled in a different way. So let me know what you think about this one. Another graduate story, this one's in Texas, over in San Antonio. Much happier story. So this is Elia Glover. She graduated from Stevens High School in San Antonio this week. And what makes her really special is she is graduating, she defied the odds. Her dad is serving a life sentence for capital murder. And, that's hard to overcome for a lot of folks when you have a parent in prison. And here she is, graduating with honors, and she got a full ride scholarship to Texas A&M. She says she wants to be a neuroscientist or a cardiologist. And Elia, we wish you all the best. She is driven. We know she will do well. All right, forecast time. If you haven't gone outside yet, guess what? It's summer in Houston. It's going to be hot. Humidity's back. We're talking about temps in the low 90s over the next couple of days. They're going to creep up into the mid 90s. Also something to watch out for. Tomorrow we're going to start seeing the first batch of Saharan dust coming over, which still blows my mind. I get it. I get all the science behind it. But it's a trip to know that there's dust coming all the way from Africa across the ocean. That's how, where severe weather and tropical systems develop and they move. I don't know. That's probably why I'm not a meteorologist. If that stuff blew my mind, I wouldn't be very good at delivering the forecast. But that's something to watch out for. It'll probably be pretty bad on Saturday, so a heads up. We do also, I should note, have an air quality alert today, and then rain chances move back in on Sunday, and if we do get a shower, that could kind of wash that sand out of the air, so it's not as problematic for folks. All right, and now is the fun portion of our update where I try to get my computer to work. Jaime, what are you seeing as far as comments?
Right off the bat, people were kind of concerned as to why Beasley was let out on bond on a murder charge to begin with.
Yeah, and he's not the first one, the only one. This is not an isolated incident. The chief, I did an interview with him, oh my gosh, a year after Harvey, so more than a year ago, and this was an issue for him then that he was very concerned about. He says judges letting out dangerous offenders back out on the street because bond is being set too low. So we will wait to see what happens. This is something he's been very vocal about for a very long time, and obviously it's still an issue. So yeah, it's terrifying. You think someone who commits murder will be held without bond.
Right, right. Especially someone who already has a criminal past as well.
Yeah.
So I can see why there's a lot of concern.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But make your voice heard. You know, reach out to district judges. I think the Police Officers Union Twitter page has named names, so you know who to reach out to if you feel so inclined.
Susie, you know, in regards to the story about the valedictorian, says she absolutely did the right thing. Said, Lord knows nobody wants to hear the truth. In regards to how she felt about her counselor and teacher and their input in her scholastic career.
It's tough. There have been a couple stories like this today where it's not the ideal situation, right? But put in that situation, how would you handle it? So say you're the student, you know, you're striving to be valedictorian, you want the most out of everything and your counselor isn't helping. You know, you complain to the administration, nothing's done. You have a teacher who clearly has some issues and needs help. That's not being resolved either. So you defy the odds. You get a place up on the stage and you get a couple minutes to say whatever you want. That's one way to get the community's attention.
The part that stood out to me was that when she noted that her counselor was sort of taking credit for her success.
Yeah, I can see how that would bug you.
Yeah, it's one thing maybe not to sort of help her, but also then to go and take credit. I can see that might be a point where it might push you to, you know, beyond your breaking point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, Lauren says it's not the time or place to bring it up with the school district. Don't ruin other people's joyful day because you're bitter.
Yeah, and a lot of people have said that. And Natalie wanted to point out that most of her speech, those are the 2 points that are getting the most attention for obvious reasons. But she said the bulk of her speech was really positive, and she was thanking the teachers, the staff, everyone who helped make the last 4 years possible. Can I see comments? Oh my gosh, I can see. Well, I can see some comments. They're cycling through. I'm trying to see. Oh.
Renita says that hopefully the valedictorian's revelation will force the school district to address this problematic teacher. That kind of makes me wonder too, like which instance kind of stood out to you more? Was it the situation with the counselor or the situation with the teacher?
Well, if you heard the cheers from the crowd when she mentioned the teacher, that to me signaled, not the crowd in the stands, but the crowd of students, that signaled to me that that was a well-known issue that everyone was familiar with and probably needed to be addressed. So I think of the 2, that was the more important issue, and I hope that they had worked to resolve that before she took the stage. I think the counselor thing is a little more petty, but she made it despite the help of her counselor. So, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion on this one, obviously. Mine is that she earned her time. You use it how you want to, and the thing is, you get whatever backlash comes with that. You have to understand, you don't just get to sound off without repercussion. I know I'm cycling through here too. Yeah, Justin, this is going back to the release of suspects about Conway. Anthony Conway, he's the suspect wanted for the murder of Enrique Ramirez Ayala. Justin says he shot a family member in the face twice and they survived. He pleaded down in that case. We have that written up in our article on khou.com. He pleaded down and ended up with an unlawful gun charge. So this is a man who's now suspected of murder. He has a violent rap sheet and was back out on the street, which is why the chief is sounding off.
Megan has made a comment that that don't go to work drunk and not expect to get called out.
Oh yeah, going back to the valedictorian
speech. Going back to the valedictorian speech, which is kind of, I can't imagine something like that not being noticed by school administrators. Especially if it's something that's clearly was seemed to be widely known, or been seen by all these students. And I'm sure colleagues also probably would see something like that, and I'm sure somebody at some point should have stopped and spoke up.
Yeah, you hope that happens.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Megan Cummings. She said, I graduated with honors. Her dad is also in prison for murder. She said she didn't get to be on the news, but that is amazing, Megan. Congratulations. A lot of us have the odds stacked against us. I had teen parents, and everyone predicted, who hadn't ever gone to college. I was the first one to go to college in my family. Everyone predicted I would kind of follow their footsteps. And it takes a lot of determination and drive to say, no, I'm not going to be the person you expect of me. I'm going to be so much more. So I think that's awesome, Megan. And to Aaliyah in San Antonio, it's tough. Eric says, yep, congratulations, but we are all special in one way or another. Yeah, we all have issues that we overcome.
It makes us who we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shapes us in a huge way.
Yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up? They're getting ready to start the morning meeting, so we probably should. But keep your comments coming. I'll go through and respond to them as I can, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll be back here at 2:15.